In this video, we'll replace the magnetic clutch on this AC compressor for this 2016 BMW 528. It's a F10. This repair is going to carry for most other vehicles in this same lineup. It's a job that anyone with moderate DIY skill can do, and you could save money by just replacing the clutch rather than the entire compressor, and you don't have to deal with evacuating the system. In this case, the car came in blowing hot air, air never got cold. First thing I'm going to do in this situation is get my manifold gauge set out, plug it in just to see what numbers I'm running. There's plenty of resources online to see where you should be at with your particular vehicle given the ambient temperature that you're at when you're testing. This is a 528. On this vehicle, the low side is right up top, right in the front here. You can see the larger pipe there. And the high side, you have to kind of dig for it. It's underneath behind this flap that you would use to get to your headlight. It's right down in there. You see the little plug. You can unscrew it and tap into it. For me here, I plugged in. I had decent pressure on one side, but you can see the other side is completely wrong. This should not be like this. It's going into some kind of fail-safe. There's a few different reasons why this could be happening, but upon further inspection, I can see that this clutch is not spinning at all. Now in this vehicle, this clutch should be moving all the time, even when the AC is not being called for. You can see here it's not moving. Even if I go inside, call for AC, come back out, it's still not moving. So right now I'm going to focus on this clutch. Using my top-down smart, I can see there's an issue with the clutch circuit itself. Using the bidirectional controls on my scanner, I'm activating the clutch as well as other AC components just to see if I'm having any issues with my vehicle's controls. But even with doing it through the scanner, nothing happens. To get to this AC compressor, we're going to first remove this upper support bar. 2 bolts hold that down, zip that off and move it out of the way. Then we're going to remove the top part of this air box the way you would do if you were changing your air filter. Unplug your sensor, undo the clips for this box. Use a flat head screwdriver to undo the hose clamp and pull this piece off. I'm going to further investigate this clutch here by unplugging the single wire that comes off of it and testing across that wire and ground to see what the resistance is. Now if I see something super crazy high or a complete short, I know that there's an issue. In my case here, I'm showing 14 million ohms. That is incorrect. So this clutch is coming out. In this car, we can do this repair right in place. We don't need to remove the compressor. So to do that, we're going to take off this lower portion of this intake pipe here, and we have good access to this compressor here. Well, I'm using a filter wrench, but you can use some other, either a strap wrench or some other way to hold this tight. This 10mm nut is not going to be on there too tight, so it shouldn't present too much of an issue. But you want to just hold that outside clutch plate, give it a little turn by hand first to break it free, and then zip this off either by hand with the ratchet or with the power tool. To get this plate off, what I'm doing is putting a flathead screwdriver in between the plate and the pulley. And you don't want to use too much force here. You don't want to impact that center shaft here. But just a little bit of pressure here to make a purchase point. Spin it a little bit more, spin it a little bit more, and this will come out. Using a breaker bar on the socket, get onto that idler pulley, give it a gentle push to the left to loosen up the slack on this belt, and remove it. Now we get to the first of our 2 snap rings. It looks like this is a little bit of a different shape than normal snap rings. And it's hard to see. You might need an inspection mirror. I used that to find the ends of it. I then used a pick to grab the ends of them and pull it up, make a little purchase point enough to get another flat head in there and just pry it up around the entire circumference. You can try using snap ring pliers. The pliers I have were a little bit difficult to get in there though, so this works just fine. Next, you will need a puller. I'm using just a 2-jaw puller here, small enough to get in there, grab the edge of the pulley, and then press on that center shaft. The one thing I found, however, though, and this is maybe just with my puller, is that I didn't have enough length to get that all the way out. So what I ended up doing was taking another 10mm bolt, grinding a small divot in the head of it, putting that into the shaft of the compressor and leaving it out as far as possible, and then redoing this puller here, and that gave me the extra length to get this pulley to fully come off. And now with an inspection mirror, you can get down there and see this second snap ring, and that's all that's holding your coil, your magnetic coil on. So with this being a little bit farther in, I was able to get my snap ring pliers in there. You'll have to play with this. You'll have to try to do it by feel. Find the 2 ends of that snap ring. You need a good pair of snap ring pliers. I'll put a link to one below to be able to get that last ring off. Once you do that, this clutch will come right out. When you pull this clutch out, take note of this little key here. That's going to help you line up the new clutch in place and make sure it stays where it's supposed to be. I'll put a link to this clutch below. It's on Amazon for pretty cheap. It works just fine. It's not OEM, but it does the job. Give it a quick inspection. Make sure all the parts are there. Make sure the key is lined up in the same spot. so that the wire ends up where it's supposed to be. And I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to test the new clutch to make sure this coil is where it's supposed to be. See here, it shows about just a little over 3 ohms. That looks good. Now I can't get a camera down here, so I'm going to have to explain this the best I can. Putting this back together is pretty simple. You want the new coil to go in, line up that key. Once you do, it'll sit flush against the compressor and it won't spin. Once you have that on, you put the first snap ring on. You use your snap ring pliers, get it in there the best you can. What I did was just got one lip of it in and then use a flat screwdriver to make sure it was in all the way around. Using a small mirror and that flathead, make sure you snap that ring all the way around the groove until you see both ends fully seated. Double check by trying to move that coil. If it wiggles at all, your ring is not in place. That coil should be against your compressor, very tight and not moving at all. With the coil in, go ahead and reconnect the single wire harness, making sure it fully seats and you hear that click. The harness snaps onto a small metal bracket. The bracket's held on by a 10mm bolt that also supplies the ground. So off of the new coil, your single wire harness gets plugged in, it's snapped into the bracket, and then gets held in place by that 10mm bolt, which also supplies the ground once you include that ground ring. Next, it's time for the new pulley to go back on. Now what I found was most useful was to take a small piece of angle iron, anything you can put that goes across the entire pulley nice and flat and it's sturdy, and then through that I used a 10mm bolt and screwed that in, and what that did was that pulled the pulley over and on to where it's supposed to be. Once again though, I found that I couldn't get in far enough. So what I did was I used a socket that was large enough to get around that center shaft there, and then the same concept of pulling it through with that 10mm, a long 10mm bolt and that piece of flat angle iron. It brought the pulley all the way in. It is fully seated, worked pretty well, and now the snap ring goes on. Just like with the first one, you need to work this snap ring in mostly by feel. You can use your finger to feel the ridge here that this is going to go into to get a better understanding of where you want this to be. You want to use your snap ring to hold it in place. I used a curved tiny pry bar. It's kind of like a flat head there at the front, just to get it to snap in, and it should end up looking like this. This next part is critical. There needs to be an air gap between this outer plate of the clutch and the pulley, as you can see here. Your existing unit and your new unit will have 1 or 2 shims, and you need to have that in place before you put this on. In my case, I used 2 of these little washers to create the proper gap. With the shims in place, line up the splines correctly so that you can get this plate on, push it all the way in, and then torque it down. This bolt only gets torqued down to about 18, maybe 19 Newton meters. They do make special tools to hold the clutch plate in place, and I'll put a link to one below, but I found it useful to just use this filter wrench. It held it enough for me to torque it down. Once that was done, give it a good spin by hand. You should see that it spins freely. You don't hear any scraping or binding. With that done, go ahead and push your idler pulley over, reinstall the belt. Do a quick inspection to make sure your belt is lined up and centered on all of the pulleys. With that done, reassemble your airbox. You don't want to risk sucking anything into an engine, so don't run the car without this. Middle section of this intake pipe goes on. Make sure you tighten that hose clamp, and then put the top part on the way you would do if you were changing your air filter. And if you had the chance, change your air filter now too. Now I should mention, if you have a stock setup, this center section isn't too difficult. In my case, I have an aftermarket pipe down bottom, so it's a little bit hard to get this lined up. The bottom line is you want to make sure that these are all sealed. Both the lower section and the top section, make sure that they fit into each other and you clamp them down properly. And don't forget to plug in your sensor. Support brace gets bolted back down, and now it's time to test. And with the car running, I can see this clutch is now spinning, and we know our problem has been fixed. Since I'm in here, I'm just going to check the low side pressure here, and you do this with your car running and warmed up, with your air conditioning fully on and your blower on to the max. Looking at this, it looks like I'm only 1 or 2 psi short, so I'm going to top it off here and go inside, check it out. This is blowing out nice cold air, and this job is done. An easy thing you can do on your own, save a ton of money, especially since you don't have to change your entire compressor if this is the case for you. I like making these videos to show how easy it is to do some of these things on your own, and of course to save a ton of money while doing it. I'll put links to the tools and the items that I've used below, and if you use my links, I will earn a whole 17 cents.